Cowboy, you left your hat in my bed and your name on my skin. Wild West story, asterisk the sky, over red, hollow, bled red that evening. It wasn't just sunset, it was the kind of dying light that made you wonder if the world itself was burning somewhere. Beyond the ridge, the wind carried the dry scent of dust and old smoke, and for a moment, I thought I could hear echoes of the past whispering through the valley. My name's Silas Ward, though around these parts, it don't mean much anymore. Folks used to call me the Australian, the man who could outdraw anyone west of the Rio Grande. That was a long time ago. Now, I live alone on a broken stretch of land called Dust Valley, with nothing but my horses and the ghosts I never. Buried. Dusk, I drink my coffee by the fire and listen to the wind slide through the fence posts. Sometimes, if the night is quiet enough, I hear gunfire again far away, fading into memory. 20 years gone, and I still can't sleep without dreaming of fire and screaming. The war between settlers and the Apache burned more than towns. It burned men's souls to mine most of all. That night, the air felt wrong. There was smoke on the horizon, faint but sharp, cutting through the scent of sagebrush. I stood from the porch, mug still half full, and reached for the revolver. Hanging by the door, out of habit. Old instincts never truly die. They just wait for the right wind. By the time I saddled Roma, my oldest horse, the light had thinned to a copper haze. I rode toward the rising smoke, the dry earth cracking under the hooves, the sun dying behind me. I wasn't looking for trouble, but in Red Hollow, trouble always had a way of finding me. And then I saw her. At first, just a shadow on the trail, a lone rider moving against the wind. The storm of dust swirled around her, her figure barely holding steady. When she came close enough, I saw her horse was trembling, spent from the ride. Then she tumbled right off the saddle, hitting the dirt hard. I was off my horse before I even thought about it, kneeling beside her. Her cloak was torn, her skin the color of sun-warmed copper, her dark hair streaked with dust and blood. I touched her throat, her pulse was there, weak but steady. That's when I saw the scar just below her jaw, a thin crescent mark that glowed. Pale against her skin, I froze. That mark, I'd seen it before, long ago, under the same sky but lit by fire. She opened her eyes, black as obsidian, and whispered, "Silas Ward, I found you." My blood turned cold. 20 years vanished in a heartbeat. I saw it all again, the burning village, the child hiding beneath the wagon, her tiny hands clutching at my shirt as I carried her through a rain of bullets and smoke. I left her by the river that night, alive but trembling. I never thought I'd see her again, but here she was. I brought her back to the ranch. The old boards creaked under her boots when she stepped inside. She looked around, eyes catching on the rifle over the mantel, the dust-covered books, the silence that lived in the walls. "You still live like a ghost," she said softly. I didn't answer. Maybe because she was right. Her name was Naya. She told me she'd come from the south, crossing deserts and canyons, chased by men who wanted her silenced. She said she'd searched every town from Tucson to Red Hollow looking for me. "I made a promise," she said, her voice steady despite the weariness in her eyes. "A child's promise. I swore I'd return the life you gave me." I gave a bitter laugh. "You don't owe me anything." Her gaze didn't waver. "It's not debt, Elias. It's destiny." Outside, the wind howled through the valley, rattling the windows like a warning. She stood so still, framed in the lamplight, that for a moment I thought she might vanish if I blinked. But she didn't. She was re-land. She had brought something with her that I hadn't felt in decades. A heartbeat that wasn't my own. Echoing in this dead house, that's when I smelled the smoke again stronger, closer. I turned toward the door, heart pounding. Flames were climbing up the side of my barn. I shouted for her to stay back and ran into the night, the heat slapping my face as I yanked open the barn doors. The horses screamed, kicking against their stalls. Someone had set the place alight, no accident. I freed the animals, the fire crackling louder with every breath. The Naya was there beside me, throwing buckets of water, though I told her to. The roof gave way in a roar of sparks. I grabbed her, pulled her out just before it collapsed, and we both fell hard into the dirt, gasping. The fire painted her face in orange light, her eyes fierce even as tears cut lines through the ash on her cheeks. "You think I'll run?" she said, her voice trembling but unbroken. "I've already walked through fire once. I won't again or without you." And in that burning light, I saw it the same courage that had once looked up at me from under a wagon, now blazing inside the woman she'd become. The barn was gone by morning, but something else had started, something I couldn't name, something I'd spent half my life pretending I didn't need. That night, the silence of Dust Valley ended, and for the first time in 20 years, I wasn't alone.